This is where it all began, Monday morning, in a torrential downpour in Delphos, Ohio. 40 cyclists, top qualifiers from all around the country, came for 3 days of racing, including time trials, four-man team time trials, and a grueling 177-kilometer road race, all with one purpose in mind, to be part of a 10-man U.S. Olympic cycling team. The first of the three events is the time trials. There's no team strategy involved, no battling for position, simply a race against the clock, against mental fatigue, and in this case, against the elements. It had been raining steadily by the time the trials began. It takes concentration and intestinal fortitude to be successful at this event, and one of the most successful is 21-year-old Andy Weaver.
What I do is I just think about, okay, I mentally go through my mind and say, okay, I'm relaxed, you know, I'm just rolling along. I want to keep rolling my legs going, you know, in a particular gear. I don't want to start thinking about what's going on around me. I just want to go.
And go he did. The favored Weaver turned in the fastest time on the 30-kilometer course at 37 minutes and 3 seconds. The rain and the wind had both subsided by about 10 o'clock, but that was too late to do any of the Olympic hopefuls any good. They had all finished the race by then. Yet despite the adverse weather conditions, Coach Eddie B said he was impressed both with the times and with the course. Coach Eddie Borisovich was born in a town in Poland with too many syllables and not enough vowels for the average American to pronounce. He's called Eddie B for obvious reasons. He speaks a smattering of English, but according to road race coach Tim Kelly, his knowledge of cycling is largely responsible for the U.S. putting forth one of the finest Olympic fields in decades.
He's a person who's very knowledgeable, has had a lot of experience in physiology and in time trialing especially, and in scientific training, and also just has a good sense about cycling more than anybody else in the United States at this particular time. And with this knowledge, we've just made leaps and bounds in the last 3 years. We're starting to win medals in international competition.
Tuesday, June 3rd, the second leg of the Olympic cycling competition, and perhaps the most punishing, the 177-kilometer road race in Zanesfield, Ohio. Again, the weatherman wouldn't cooperate, but the Olympians were getting pumped up for the race anyway, in more ways than one. The cyclists would be climbing steep inclines, and then it was downhill at speeds exceeding 50 miles an hour. Some were able to recover from spills and flat tires. Others were done in. But with 2 more spots on the Olympic team at stake, the riders trudged on until junior world road race champion Greg LeMond of Carson City, Nevada, emerged the victor in a time of 4 hours, 10 minutes, and 23 seconds. Dale Stetina of Indianapolis, Indiana, also earned a berth on the team by finishing second. The riders who will compete for the final 10 spots on the Olympic cycling team are only a part of the story. There's one rider who will not be able to compete this year. In 1977, Alan Kingsbury was the #1 rider in this country, until in July of 1978, when a cycling accident caused disaster to his career and disaster to the U.S. cycling team. The native of Lima was riding in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, when a fully loaded cement truck failed to heed warnings on the bike route. Kingsbury was in a cast of one kind or another for nearly 2 years. Though he escaped with his life, he lost the feeling in his leg and is only now regaining the feeling in his toes. This at a time when he was #1 in the United States, 2-time winner of the International Grand Prix in New Jersey, setting national records each time. Now at age 25, doctors refuse to say whether Kingsbury will ride again, but if he has his way...
They don't say whether I can or I can't. It's pretty much up to me. I would like to get back and compete if possible, but I don't know for sure what I'll be able to do.
Have you set any kind of target for yourself? Anything you'd like to look for the 84 games or
all
something?
The time I set goals, but if you didn't set goals, I suppose there wouldn't be anything else to work for. So so far I haven't been able to really come up with a lot of them, but I have made progress. But if I'm ready to go next season, that'll be soon enough.
Thursday morning, a break in the weather and the 4-man team trials begin. For the coaches, a last look at the ability and strategy of the cyclists before filling the last 4 spots and 2 alternates. Then Thursday evening at a banquet in Lima, the naming of the 1980 U.S. Olympic cycling team. 21-year-old Andy Weaver of Miami, Florida, 2-time and current national time trial champion. 19-year-old Greg LeMond, the youngest of the team, from Carson City, Nevada. Dale Stetina, age 23, of Indianapolis, former national road champion and member of the 1976 Olympic team. 25-year-old Wayne Stetina, Dale's older brother, making his 3rd Olympic team, former 2-time national road champion and 1-time national time trial champion. 27-year-old Tom Doughty of Hobart, Indiana, gold medalist in the 1979 Pan American Games. Bob Cook, a 22-year-old native of Englewood, Colorado, a member of the national team for 2 years. Tom Schuler, age 23, of Birmingham, Michigan, 1979 national prestige champion and an alternate on the 76 Olympic team. And 20-year-old Doug Shapiro of Long Island, New York, a top 10 finisher in every national championship since 1977. The two alternates, Tom Brasnowski of Seattle, Washington, and Jerry Fornes of Columbus, Ohio. There's no rest for the weary, though. Within a week after the trials, the team was in Europe, engaging in international competition to prove to the world and themselves that they are a team of high caliber.